We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She's a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And Doug, one thing that we love to do, even if it's just you and me or with our patrons, with our fans, is we like to play things called This or That. And that is what we're going to be doing today on the show, Doug, for everybody.
Because everyone loves hypotheticals.
It is. It's the greatest thing to do.
You have to do this or that. No
black
other
or white,
options.
nothing in between. That is how we live our lives.
And one of these, you're forcing me into an answer.
Yes.
On one.
The one question that Doug's like, do you have any? And I'm like, yes, I do. I've had a post. I made a social media post a while ago, and it's been sitting there just ready to post. And it's going to, finally I get to do it. So we will find that question. And then all of our listeners will have to chip in as well.
We should all be worried.
It's going to be good. Well, one thing that we love to do is play this or that with our Patreons. We have no new Patreons this week, but we are going to give shout-outs to the Hairy Man and Baron Brock. Thank you so much for being longtime supporters of the show, getting the bonus episodes, swag. Every time now and then we see you guys at the park and we're able to hang out. So love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
There you go. And also, we love reviews.
Yes,
so thank
we
you for
do.
leaving those 5-star reviews. So we're going to read another one today. All right. This one is titled, This Podcast Keeps Getting ... Oh, trauma. And it's by Riri Loves Disney. It says, updating my review. Always look forward to the fun and informative podcast by the Rope Drop team. Also, you guys also have the best special guests, in parentheses here, Michelle, Chrissy, Lynn. Great pod for those traveling to Disney as adults or with kids. We do have good guests, Derek. And
we do, and we have another one, but it's
guest.
not one of the ones you mentioned. We actually have a new guest. Yes.
And I don't know how it has taken us almost 6 years. It will be 6 years in May. We're getting close to May, right? 5.5 years. There we go. To have this guest on. Unfathomable.
We're joined by Steve Creasy. You can find him every week on the DCL Podcast talking about sailings with the mouse. Welcome to Rope Drop Radio, finally, Steve.
Well, thanks. It's good to be here. And I think I need to say the same thing back to you guys, because I think our podcast started roughly, yours was before ours, but roughly about that same time. And how we've never, ever actually done a show together, I don't know.
Well, we were hoping to do it live on a ship sometime. I think, and it's just, we had a pandemic. Yeah.
Children's schedules get in the way.
They are the worst.
Work, teeth. I don't know.
Teeth are a problem. I don't know.
Hopefully not for me. Side note, I have a dentist appointment the day after this show comes out with Doug.
Yeah, hopefully it's all good, Derek.
Oh, that could change the show. We don't make it to 6 years.
All right, let's get the ball rolling. Steve, with you sharing a little bit of your Disney background with the Rope Droppers.
All right, so I was late coming to Disney, to be completely honest. I didn't go until I was, I'm going to date myself here now, until I was in high school back in the 80s. And we actually went when Epcot opened up, but I don't remember any of it. I remember going to the Mexican restaurant, and I don't remember any of the rides or anything like that. But I remember going to the Magic Kingdom, so that was kind of like the first time I ever went to Disney. And then I didn't do anything until we had kids. So we kind of went back to Disney. We started our Disney journey, I guess, 2012, when we took our kids down to Disneyland for the first time.
Nice. Disneyland for the first time with the kids. Because you're a West Coaster, you're out in Portland. So do you go to Disneyland more often then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just easier. I mean, it's a 2-hour plane ride versus 6 to go all the way down to Walt Disney World. But actually, when we get to this other question back here, I think I'd rather go to Walt Disney World in some ways. Disneyland, though, yeah, definitely our home park. So we did Disneyland in 2012. And then my dad had wanted to go on a cruise to Alaska. And my wife kind of put her foot down and said she wasn't going to go on a cruise with a bunch of people that was like their once in a lifetime cruise with kids. So we started looking around. We found out that Disney Cruise Line sailed up there. So we took a chance, booked it with Disney Cruise Line, and fell in love with it. And that's kind of where we are. We're into cruise number 12 in 2 weeks, and just have been loving each and every one of them that we go on. So that's kind of our Disney background. We've been down to Walt Disney World a couple times. Been out to Aulani. My parents live in Hawaii, so that's kind of where we've been.
Wait, does he have you beat Doug by one cruise then? You're platinum by
I think my 12th is this summer.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. 12th this summer.
Don't worry, guys. I'm still at 2.
You'll get there, Derek.
I know, eventually.
You'll get there. Where are you going? What itinerary are you doing in a couple of weeks here?
We're going to go on the Wonder out of San Diego, just down to it. It's a 5-day that stops in Cabo and Ensenada. So kind of a hidden gem. We love Ensenada. I've been to a couple different things in that little town there. So I've been loving having the Wonder out here on the West Coast to be able to sail on it rather than making that trek all the way across the country.
And it sounds like it's going to probably be there to stay.
Yeah, at least for the foreseeable future through 2023, right?
Right. It's could be interesting how long it stays out there. And you were just on the Wonder a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, we did a cruise out of New Orleans, just my wife and I, for Valentine's Day. And that was super cool. It's something I've always wanted to do, is cruise down the Mississippi. I think it'd be cool. Have you guys ever seen those little cruise lines where they're actual paddle boats?
Mm-hmm.
I've been on one.
Towns? Like, have you been on one of those?
That's how you cruise in Nebraska. So it's the paddle boat.
I did a whole TV commercial on one. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's like a bucket list dream of mine, is to go on one of those little paddle boats for like about a week up the Mississippi.
A week?
So.
Yeah, an hour. You're good.
Okay, maybe I need to
They start in
this
St.
dream.
Paul. You start in St. Paul. You end in New Orleans. It's a week. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, down the Mississippi, down to Cozumel, and it was a great time. So
It looked like a good
yeah,
time.
it did.
Follow along on social media. So there you go. Excellent background. I think it's time for us to play this or that. So what we'll be doing is we will be giving a series of options, and we'll go around. All of us will answer. You'll see what we have to say. We may argue. We may agree. We may try to explain away our horrible decisions. But there is no wrong answer, but there might be some right ones. All right. That makes sense?
I'm ready.
Yep.
All right. Well, we will start out with one that was given to me by my son, Alden. He is a runner, and Steve, you are a runner as well. So he thought this would be a great time for me to ask that. Which trail would you rather run on? This is at Walt Disney World. Pop Century Art of Animation around that lake, or the Boardwalk Resort area running trails?
So I was going to go with Pop Century at first, because I think, being able to watch the Skyliner go up and down and everything like that as you're running around, I thought that would be kind of cool. But I actually doing with the Boardwalk area, because if you've ever done a marathon on marathon weekend, you actually come through the Boardwalk area as you finish up going through Epcot. And there's something cool about that. Plus watching the friendship boats going around, and then you can run out to get a little bit more distance and go all the way out to Hollywood Studios and back. So I'm going to go with the Boardwalk area for that one.
All right. Derek, do you have
I was gonna go with the Pop Century area, only because it's a little less busy, kind of a little more scenic areas. It can get kind of congested. Everyone trying to get to studios in the morning, getting at a boardwalk. I just want to be different. So, but I do like that area.
Yeah, I was going to say Boardwalk area, so you have the longer stretch over to the studios. But if I ran towards the studios, I wouldn't come back. So that would be a problem for me personally. So there you have it. Hopefully he enjoys that answer, even though I doubt he downloads and listens to the show, because he's a teenager.
He needs to download, get those numbers.
Maybe I'll tell him
just
to
get
tell
on his
all
phone,
his friends.
subscribe it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump over to DCL for a question. Would you rather do a Caribbean itinerary of 4 nights with no Castaway, or 4 nights with Castaway? Steve?
So I think that people that have been doing it recently have been pretty lucky, because they've been getting multiple nights of Castaway all through the pandemic until just recently, when they've started going back to Nassau. But I'm going to have to go with Castaway. I mean, you can't go to the Caribbean without Castaway, right?
I threw that out there because you just did one, right?
Well, that is true. We went to the West. Okay, that's a good point there. Sometimes you don't have a choice based on the dates when somebody's going to watch your kids. And you got to take advantage of that when you can, to get away from your kids every now and then.
Babysitters are a challenge.
Exactly. So I don't know what some of the things you guys have done there, but we parasailed on there. Recently, my youngest son sails Hobie Cats, and he's on a sailing team. And so we rented the Hobie Cats, and that was super cool. We like sailed. You can sail right up next to almost the Disney Dream, or whatever ship you're on when you're on board, or when you're on Castaway. So Just so much fun to do. Plus, just lazing on the beach and watching your kids play too. With
Do
a
you
drink.
have to have some sort of proof of knowledge of sailing to rent one of those?
They don't check anything. And when I came back, the guy was like, I said something like, I hadn't done that for a year. And he goes, what? You were supposed to you sailed within the last 6 months or something like that. So I don't know. Do it at your
There
own
you go.
risk. I
Well, I'll be
Okay.
like, yeah, I was sailing yesterday. I was
Exactly.
define
Muscle
sailing.
memory kicks in. You'll be fine.
So I'm going to go with Castaway.
All right.
I'm going to agree. Castaway's magical. I would love to be there right now. And yeah, I would go there every day on a cruise.
Yeah,
no,
it's
no question.
unanimous.
Yes.
Who wrote this question?
Yeah,
Jeez.
terrible
No,
question.
Failure.
See, it could have been better if it was like 3 nights on Castaway or a 5-night Caribbean cruise. There's a little bit more
that's
challenging.
what I should have probably wrote. You're
Yes.
correct. And we checked in for our Greek cruise, and the next morning Claire asked if we got a cabana. Like, she does this for she knows there's no cabana. So when we went to Alaska in 2017, she was like, did we get a cabana? I mean, we're like getting on the ship. It's like, Claire, do you think there's going to be a cabana? We're in Alaska. But did we get a cabana on Castaway? Like, she wasn't old enough to comprehend. So now
It's okay, I've never gotten a cabana on
We went to
Castaways.
Bermuda. Did we get a cabana? Now we're in Europe. Did we get a cabana? Now Greece. Did we get a cabana? And she's so serious when she says it, but I hope she's really joking.
I love that
All
she
right.
keeps you on your toes, Doug.
Yeah.
She's a 12-year-old girl, so yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Here's a recent one with Genie Plus, individual lightning lanes. We're looking at Rise of the Resistance. Standby. You have all the time in the world, all the money in the world. I don't know what scenario you need to play in your head, but standby or spend the money and get the individual lightning lane for Rise of the Resistance.
Am I going first on all these?
Oh, you're
Yep,
first.
always-
You're
it's always the
guest.
guest.
It's always the
Yep.
guest.
So I got to be ready for these. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna spend the money on the lightning lane. We did that for Ratatouille when we were down there a couple months ago, and hit Magic Kingdom for the day, and then finished up at Epcot at night riding Ratatouille that we bought. So I think I do the same thing with Hollywood Studios. Maybe hit a different park, and then park hop over there in the evening and hit Rise of the Resistance then, hopefully, and then maybe go over to the tap house and have a beverage before we end the night.
That's a smart way to go. And so even with Ratatouille, money well spent, you kind of skip over some things, and boom, you're in there.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
is a no-brainer, Doug. A
So
terrible
you're saying
question.
I'm
You
bad
gotta-
at writing
yes.
questions again.
Spend the money on Rise, especially after the last time I was there and the ride didn't even open until 11:30 noon.
Right, because you
Yeah.
can't rope drop it.
No,
You can't
and so
dependably rope
yeah,
drop
you
it.
unless you just don't have the cash to spend and you kind of sneak in a few hours before the end of the night, this is one that just makes sense. Pay the $15, get on there, done. Easy money. I'll be doing it here in a few weeks with our family of 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that same page, and it's almost frightening how valuable some of these lightning lanes are as far as time saving. Like, you look at how much your park ticket is worth per hour, right? And if you can save that amount of time and money per hour, you could do a lot of math. I'm just gonna say this: the Genie Plus individual lightning lanes, usually mathematically.
Here's how
works
I
out.
thought the question was originally. Do you spend this or that? $15 on just Rise of the Resistance or $15 on all of Hollywood Studios without Rise?
If say you only have $15 to spend,
Yes.
how'd you get in the park to begin with?
Well,
Is the
I'm just
question.
saying it's this or
Right?
that.
If it's those two, boy, that one's harder.
I knew it would be. There you
because
go.
You can save the
That's how
same
you do
amount
a
of time
this or
with
that
Genie
question.
Plus. All right, we're redoing this, Derek style. I think with the unpredictability of Rise, you kind of want to have that one solidified because of the downtime. I think I would go with that over the Genie Plus. Although Genie Plus at Hollywood Studios, just Slinky Dog alone is worth it.
Yep, exactly.
So
I would
value,
actually,
there's a value proposition on both.
Yep.
Which way are you guys going?
I'll go rest of the park instead with
Okay.
Rise. I'm going to get as many Slinky Smugglers, one of the other e-tickets, and
Muppets.
sure, that's all that's left. I'm going to spend it that way.
Rock and roller coaster.
And
Now,
I-
I'm gonna
yeah.
get Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I would go with the rest of the park if I was gonna spend it on those two.
Derek, you should have written the questions,
There you
obviously.
go,
'Cause
obviously.
we gotta split there. All right, I think the next one's better. It could split either way. Not sure which way. All right, you have to pick one: Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom Lodge. The lodges.
All right, so that's a tough one there for a lot of different reasons, but I'm gonna go with the food at Wilderness Lodge, or excuse me, the food at Animal Kingdom Lodge for the win for us, because the lobbies are other than Christmas time, I think the lobbies are kind of similar in some ways, but and Geyser Point is definitely one of my favorite places on property. But how can you go wrong with Boma, the Mara, Sanaa, and then also you can go out and watch the animals wander around. I think the pools, I like the pools over at actually Animal Kingdom Lodge a little bit better than Wilderness Lodge. My kids are getting a little bit bigger, so they like those pools a little bit better than the one at Wilderness Lodge. So I guess that's my answer. Plus the what's the name of the bar there? It's Victoria Falls.
Sure.
I think so.
I don't know. It's been a while.
It looks right out. You guys haven't been over there. I mean, the one downside.
I was there
so
last
far
March,
away,
and
right?
I can't remember.
But
Yeah.
you were at Kidani.
I was
so
at
you were-
Kidani. I had the pool bar.
Yeah. And I guess I would say that too. I like Jumbo over Kidani. So. If you can
Ooh,
see
I like
Jumbo
Kidani.
House. Do you?
Yeah.
Jumbo wasn't really open when you
I
were
did go.
there.
Yeah, I toured it, but the pool
was-
at Kidani is still phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's one of the best pools. But it's not. I'm not choosing Animal Kingdom. I'm Children Wilderness. So because they have cabins, and after I've toured those a couple times, we're going to stay at a cabin at Wilderness.
Are you?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a question, and we're gonna enjoy. We're barely even going to go to the parks. We're just going to hang out in the cabin and go to Geyser Point. A little bit of pool time. There you go. Watch the.
Talking Chris into sponsoring you on this trip.
Sounds good. Someone help me out. You didn't specify in the questions, but
No, budget did not matter.
The cabin
right? Yeah,
is something
I
that
know.
has flown up both of our bucket lists for my wife and I.
All right. This is a hard one for me because both locations are sketchy for both, right? Like Wilderness Lodge is the closest resort, but yet so far away, like just with their transportation, because it's not on the loop, it's on the monorail loop, I should say. It's just the busing shares with Contemporary some. Animal Kingdom is in a whole different county. I mean, it really is. So it's weird there, but I think between the two, some of the restaurants at Animal Kingdom Lodge don't work for me, where Geyser Point, I like that so much. That I think that's where the scales tip. I'm going to go Wilderness Lodge. But neither sleep a family of 5 unless you get
A cabin.
Cabin.
a villa of some sort. Yeah. The standard rooms do not work for us, either place. All right. Here we go. 5 days at Disneyland or Disney World?
All right. So as much as it pains me to say this, because I do love Disneyland, I think 3 days is like perfect for Disneyland. And once you go over that, we like a resort day to kind of hang out and maybe do some things like go down to Disney Springs or whatever else. And they just don't have anything that compares to that at Disney World. I would say 4 days, excuse me, at Disneyland. I would say 4 days at Disneyland, but once you hit the 5th one, there's just so many more things to do at Disney World. So I'm going to go with Disney World.
I think I finally set the line right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, because I am going to throw a wrench into this question.
Of course.
Because I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to go to Disneyland because I haven't been there for a little while because I haven't been to Avengers Campus yet. But I'm also going to make a trip to Super Mario World when that opens up.
I mean, I didn't say you had to go
You
to the
didn't?
parks.
Yeah, I just said
No,
California.
5 days, yeah.
Yes, 5 days. So I'm going to go up to Universal when Super Mario World opens up. I'm planning on doing that anyway when that area opens up. And so I will do 3 days at Disneyland, maybe 2 days at Universal up there. And there we go.
Not a bad way to do it.
Makes sense. I
Yep.
mean, that's kind of what we did when we did Disneyland the first time. It was a longer trip, and we went, we saw Hollywood, and we did those sort of things and mixed the parks in. And so, yeah, you can do that with your 5 days at Disneyland. And you get more exciting traffic.
So what are you doing, Doug?
I'm kind of boring. I'm just going to go to Disney World. And,
See, I figured that, so I was also
yeah.
trying to be different.
Good job. Well, you are. You're
I
definitely
know.
different.
Got to do
Derek.
it.
There we go. I'm going Disney World. Just more options. There's same number of attractions, essentially, on both coasts, right? I don't want those people screaming at me like, there's just as many things to do. Is yes, attractions, actual rides, moving vehicles, about the same, but you don't have all the like entertainment that Epcot offers and that sort of thing, like at Disneyland, so to speak. So that and Animal Kingdom like has a lot different offerings than you find in California. So there you have it. All right, on to the next one. Disney Wish for 3 or 4 nights, or the 2 nights on the Halcyon. The Halcyon.
This is a good question. This is a good this or that, Doug.
For those that don't know, the Halcyon is the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. That's the name of the ship that you board for 2 nights, 3 days, as they say it. Even though day 1 you show up at 11 to noonish, and day 3 they're like, get out, like a real cruise. So 3 or 4 nights on the Wish when it comes out, or the Halcyon. Steve?
So we've all had those group experiences, right, where you kind of bond with people and it just becomes like this great kind of experience together. And after listening to Len Testa's take on his time with the Halcyon, I think he kind of changed it for me. Price not being an object, I think I'm going to do the Halcyon for 2 days, just for something that's a completely different and unique experience. I think a lot of it depends upon who you end up with on board with you and what and how that kind of plays out. But I think that's kind of a once in a lifetime experience that, once you've been on a cruise ship, as magical as the Disney Wish is going to be with all the different bells and whistles she's going to have, I think there's nothing that if the Halcyon stays the way it is and you guys have that same experience once you guys go into, I think I'm going to go with the Halcyon just for that group experience.
But
will a little bit of fun.
But will the Halcyon have an inflatable to play on in the multi-use purpose area?
I saw that in the Wish photo. That kind of annoyed me.
Okay, sorry. I'm throwing darts at the moment. But
you definitely can.
So this is a hard one for us, Derek, because we have both booked.
I have both booked within the same like 3 months apart.
Yeah, but if you had to cancel one,
well,
which one do you
caveat, I'm going on one with the kids and one with you, Doug.
I know, so don't answer that.
Yeah,
so
that's not a good question. I will tell you, I am a Star Wars fanatic since I was a kid. Like, I've been looking forward to this. I'm actually kind of annoyed right now, and Doug, I'm annoying Doug because I'm texting him all the time. We should go now.
I threw a bunch of dates.
I know. And
date you picked,
go back in time, and we'll change that. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, I have a trip coming up in like 2 weeks with my wife and kids, and I'm more excited about the Star Wars time that I get with Doug the following month. Yeah. And yes, I'm going to dress up.
Yeah, so when you talk about the cast of characters that you're going with, I will be with Derek. So there's the cast. And the extrovert supreme. I can just stand back and watch him.
I don't
and
plan
then
on
throw
sleeping
me into
much.
We got questions to ask. We'll find out how much no-dos we need to bring. I think I would do the Halcyon is where I'm at currently. Sorry, Disney Wish, but yeah, it's like you said, it's gonna be the DCL experience on the Wish, right? And the Halcyon's a whole different thing. So I think that's why I go Halcyon. Now we could have been on the inaugural sailing of the Halcyon, Derek, but
I know
we were worried about
them not being ready and tested and breaking down. Yeah.
But they did so many test cruises that they were ready.
They were ready. That was on us.
But I've been on like an inaugural sailing of a cruise ship, and it was like, dear Lord, they weren't ready. Like the bartenders didn't have blenders because they didn't know where to plug them in. That was when I tried to get my wife a drink, and they're like, yeah, we don't have any blenders at this bar because they didn't put any outlets. We're like, oh, in a month we'll have this figured out. I'm like, that. So I've been paranoid about that ever since.
Yeah.
So,
if we're going to spend that kind of money. Yeah,
Wish?
You're right.
Nope. Didn't do the inaugural of the Wish. Same paranoia.
I think that was a good choice here. Do you guys have your characters worked out then for the Halcyon?
No.
No spoiler alerts here.
I don't. Derek will be a character.
Oh, the whole time. Yes.
Just traveling with Derek is a new experience. He's a caffeinated squirrel, as I've described him before on other podcasts.
It's going to be 10 times worse on this trip.
I'm a little concerned. Okay. All right. On to a concerning question that just has to be asked. Blue milk or green milk?
I haven't had either one of them, so
It's impressive, really.
It is, yeah. So blue, how's that?
It is truly better, but they both suck.
You're making Wes happy with that
Yeah,
answer.
I'll go blue, but yeah,
we have to pick one.
Mix them together.
Well, you can get green milk for free out of the trash can because no one drinks it all. I'll just be quiet. I don't want to be too negative, but it's horrible. The green milk's horrible. All right. So no green milk fans.
None.
No really blue milk fans either. I mean, Steve, you got to try it at least.
Next trip.
Yeah, hopefully in April, I'm going to actually be able to spend some time in Galaxy's Edge. I've been there to both of them on either coast, but just to ride the rides, and they were gone. So I actually have not spent any time, wandering around and even eating or doing anything at Galaxy's Edge. I haven't been to Olga's or any of the rest of that stuff. So looking forward to it in April, hopefully.
On the Halcyon, you get unlimited blue and green milk, which is not
what
that
a deal.
Kind of like the coffee.
How many of those do you have to drink? Oh, the coffee. DCL coffee's terrible, but man, I will drink it right now to be on a ship.
But when you pair DCL coffee with their scrambled eggs, then you really have magic.
Well, there you go. Yeah. They kind of cancel each other out, right?
Yeah, for those that don't know, they're scrambled eggs. I don't know how they can't make scrambled eggs, but they can. I don't. It's amazing. All right, moving along. Here's a special one because it pertains a little bit to what Derek and I are doing before we get on the Halcyon. All right, Tony's. You have to eat at one of these. Tony's, Town Square, or Nine Dragons.
Two of the lowest reviewed restaurants in
Tony's,
all of Walt Disney World.
Tony's is Italian in the Magic Kingdom.
Italian air quotes.
Yeah, themed after Lady and the Tramp. Nine Dragons is in the China Pavilion in Epcot. Steve, what say you?
So once again, haven't been to either one of these, but I'm going to go with Nine Dragons just because if you don't like the food, there's a ton of other great places at Epcot. You can move over to the next country and try something else over there. So I'm going to go with Nine Dragons just for the escapability.
That's a good way to look at it.
That is a good way, yeah.
There's other options nearby. Magic Kingdom, not so much.
No, I too am going with Nine Dragons. I love Chinese food. I eat it a lot, and so there's no reason for me to eat it at Walt Disney World. But this has been my pick. Well, for the show, Doug. We're going to do it for the show.
Well, I'm going to go with, if I had to eat at one or the other, it's going to be Tony's.
Oh, okay. Is that where we're going to go eat? No,
because it doesn't work on our schedule very good. So Tony's, reason I'm picking Tony's is because nothing else in the Magic Kingdom really excites me, where Epcot has other good options. So almost the same reason Steve gave, but the opposite end result, if that makes sense.
It does.
All right. This next one, you're staying at a deluxe resort at Walt Disney World. You have two little special bonuses. Everybody gets early morning entry, but deluxe guests get the extended evening hours. Which one are you trying to hit up? Now, you could do both, but let's be honest, you're burning the candle at both ends. If you have to pick one, early morning or evening hours?
Well, since Alden's already got me up running early at the boardwalk, getting my run in and everything like that, I think I'm going to go with the early morning hours because my kids have got me up for the last 16 years early. I'm going to run with the early morning hours, get there early, do as many rides as we can, and then just beat everybody else as the crowd comes in, and then go back and hang out by the pool for the afternoon.
It seems smart. So just for the record, Alden will run when we take our afternoon nap when it's 90 degrees because he's 14 and can. Yeah, it's almost frightening. But yeah, that's good. Morning hours, Derek.
This is Rope Drop Radio, and I'm a morning person. I've stayed deluxe, and I physically can't do it because Derek just passes out at a certain time. So
I also don't know how to take a break.
I also don't know how to take a break. So there you go. I'm going in the morning on the rope, and we'll get as much done in that first little bit as possible.
I'm really looking forward to trying the evening hours on the spring break trip coming up.
We're going to try too, but with a 4-year-old, I don't see it happening.
And see, part of the problem with the evening hours is trying it with kids, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, we got to get up for rope drop the next day, and then you ruin rope drop.
Yes, you nailed it.
If you miss rope drop, you have a very small window at which you need to arrive to be successful. You miss it. Yeah, you should have just rolled over and hit
What
the
resort are you
snooze
staying
button.
at, Doug?
I think Beach Club.
Oh, nice.
I think.
Oh,
Don't
you
quote
don't
me.
even know.
I don't.
It's 2
It
weeks.
changes. I'm not in charge.
Yep.
But
Okay.
I do. I should know because I have to drive there. So that is a concern.
That's a this or that. Do you want Derek to drive or Doug to drive? Both are scary. All right, go on to the next one.
All right. This is back to DCL. Let's look at lunchtime offerings. Do you like to get your lunch in cabanas, the buffet on board, or are you a fan of the quick service food on deck, like Flo's V8 Cafe, the Duck-In Diner, and other fine establishments?
Pinocchio's Pizza. Oh, the amazing pizza that they have on board.
Pizza. Yep.
Yeah, the shawarma. I don't know if you're on the Magic or the Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna twist this one too because I'm gonna go to
Ooh, okay.
Cabanas because they actually have the shrimp and crab back now, at least on the last
Mhm.
sailing that we were on. So I'm gonna get some shrimp and crab and a little bit of salad, and I'm gonna take it outside onto the deck. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also going to eat cabanas, but I'll stay in cabanas because why not? The table's there. I want to eat as quick as possible. So yeah, I love cabanas. Just a wide variety, and it's easy to navigate with children.
I'm the quick service type of guy out there on the pool deck for some reason. I don't know why. I just they're both chaotic. They're both at peak times hard to find a table. My kids we're going 5 different directions to get food at cabanas or on the pool deck. So there's really no advantage either way on any of those factors, but I just for some reason like the pool deck because at least the craziness is more entertaining to watch. And sometimes you get really entertaining. Like you can sometimes get a table where you can see funnel vision if you play your cards right.
I've been surprised how many people we've talked to recently that go down to the sit down for lunch. The
I don't
ones that are
understand
open.
it.
That's
Neither
weird.
do
Notice-
I. No.
It's so out of my mind. It's not
It
even
is
on
too.
there. I'm like, I don't want to spend that much time sitting down to eat that many times throughout the day. I'm devoting enough time to dinner. I don't know. And you can kind of eat 2 lunches if you do it right. Just like a couple chicken strips and then a little shawarma and then a little pizza. You just kind of graze all day on the pool deck.
I like that idea too.
It's like 3 lunches all within a 3-hour span. I think that's what my kids do when we go to Palo brunch. I'm pretty sure they just like eat off and on the whole time. I'm pretty confident that's what they do. And a lot of ice cream.
Well,
Oh,
obviously.
That's a no-brainer. All right. The next question kind of arises from something we mentioned on a previous episode about Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run and piloting. So we thought we know a pilot. Let's see what he says. So Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Who wants to be a pilot, gunner, or engineer? So this is one extra than this or that. Steve?
So, truth be told, I've never been the pilot because my kids will not let me be the pilot.
Such a
So-
nice dad.
I know. I never push him out of the way. Well, there's a little bit of story behind it because years ago, before Smuggler's Run was even open or out, I had the opportunity to fly my kids and family and my wife back from Honolulu, and we landed in Portland. And I guess I just succumbed to the pressure and had one of the worst landings I've ever had. So my kids are always happy to tell everybody how bad I pilot. So
Jeez.
that's why they don't let me up front of the Falcon.
That's
But I'm
funny.
going to do it one of these days.
All right. Well, I do love piloting, but actually, I like when my whole family is on it and my kids are flying, and I can sit back as the engineer and just give them crap and record it and just have a lot of fun. I've piloted with everyone, so I've hit a point in my life where I like watching them do the attraction. But if it's you and me, Doug, we'll destroy some stuff together.
Right. If it's my family or like friends, I enjoy watching them hit stuff and then yelling at them about it. Like, come on, left, not right. You know, behind the train. How hard is it to get behind
For the
the
record,
train?
I have been with 2 professional pilots, and they were both horrendous. Like 2 of the
Horrible.
worst that I've ever been with. Doug, you were with
Yeah,
one.
we were on one. It
Madison was just like,
almost
that guy was a pilot, and I'm like, I'm never getting on his plane.
It's nothing the same. I'm telling you, man. I've played Xbox, the X-wing, what is it? It's the Squadron game or
Rogue
something like
Squadron.
that.
Squadron.
Rogue Squadron, and I cannot fly that thing worth anything. My youngest son, man, he's just like going through all. He's like doing spins and everything else, killing all those TIE fighters. Yeah, I'm bringing nothing to the table.
That's why I'm a drone pilot. So much easier.
If I'm with strangers on this attraction, I will do whatever I can to pilot, because too many times I've been given a pilot and then I'm standing there talking to them and they're like, oh, we've never been on it. And we're like, oh, you got to fly. You got to be the pilot. And we hand it to them and then they just sit there.
And they have no
and
idea.
I'm like,
Man.
and I've regretted it every single time. Never once have I handed that off and been like, I feel good about myself for being a good person and letting them fly. Never once I'm like, I should have just flown.
The ones I feel bad for are the couple that gets kicked on as engineers at the very last second. They're like, hey, looking for a party of two. And they come up and they're engineers.
Shouldn't answer.
And they shouldn't answer. Nope, never do that.
No, not if you want to fly, which you should. All right. Back to Run Disney. We're looking at which race would you rather do? The Princess Half in February or the Wine and Dine in November?
This is a no-brainer for me. Wine and Dine in November, just because they have that Epcot after hours party that only the people that run in the race get to go to, and that's something I think I've always wanted to do. I think that would be super cool, being at Epcot with just the people that were out there running and some of their friends and having that whole place to yourself. I've never been to a park like that. Have you guys done that before?
No, I have not.
I've not done any Run Disney, so I will take either one if I can ever do it. No, yeah.
We just need to plan it for 2023.
Sounds good. You tell me when to start training.
2022 is the Star Cruiser. 2023.
Derek and Doug run something?
Run Disney.
Okay.
Or slowly jog something.
Yes. This or that. Who wins?
A lot of different options. 5K, 10K.
Yeah.
Right?
I've done
5K.
Castaway 5K. That was great. 5K I can do. Yeah. If you start adding on to that, Derek's knees go out.
It's concerning, but we'd have to do a half, I think, if we're doing something. You gotta go all in, half. I think I go Princess half, because then I don't know, something about training over the winter is easier because there's nothing else exciting to do. But training in the fall, I'll have football distracting me. And, I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws. Maybe I like the Princess because there's not a whole lot of guys wandering around. I don't know. I did the Princess once. I've never done the Wine Dine. I've done the Princess. I did the Dark Side. I've done the Light Side. Those are the three that I've done. And the Dark Side's no longer a thing. Now it's the Spring surprise.
Yeah, whatever that is.
If I'm paying that kind of money, I want to know what that medal looks like before I pay it, because that's half of what I'm paying for is the medal and the T-shirt, and the other half is the banana at the end.
Oh, there you go.
It's a value. It's the best banana you'll ever taste in your life. You're just like, and then like some sort of goo. You're like, oh, that tastes good, and then you eat it a different day, and you're like, what is in my mouth? That's how that stuff works.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if we really got very far with that one. Other than 2023, Derek, I think we should do it.
All right. Put it on the list.
The gauntlet's been thrown down.
I guess.
Here's a fun one. World of Color or Harmonious?
Again, I haven't seen Harmonious. Have you guys seen it? You guys have been
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
9
Derek's
times.
seen it like 75 times.
9 times. I love it.
I've seen those things out there in the lake that are floating around.
They're fun.
I'm gonna go with World of Color though at Christmas time when they change it up. I've
seen that. I love that.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine. We saw that down at, or we saw that at Christmas time. I can't remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, and I really love that show. It kind of added to the whole spirit of the moment and everything else. So I'm gonna go with World of Color, but at Christmas time.
All right. I actually am also going with World of Color, Doug.
What? I did not write this question for that answer, Derek.
Because I have seen Harmonious 8 or 9 times. I have to go back and count. But I haven't seen World of Color. I haven't been to Disneyland pre-pandemic. So I miss it and have kind of forgotten about it and need to do that. So I really want to get back out there and enjoy it again.
But which do you think is better?
Oh, Harmonious, easy.
Okay, that's which is better.
I just haven't.
you know?
I've been one. I've seen it a lot lately, so I'm ready to go back out west and try that.
Well, that's not what I was looking for, sir. Come on now, play the game the right way. What do you think is the best? Better.
Okay.
You're saying Harmonious for sure. I get that you haven't seen World of Color. I haven't seen World of Color for a while, but I'm gonna say World of Color because I think it does the complete storytelling. And the other thing I love about World of Color is I've seen it 3 different times. Every time I've seen it, it's been a different show. They actually follow through with changing the show, updating the show, adding to the show, and it's all been good. I've been happy with all 3 of them. So I think there's been 3 different ones. So where at Disney World, I doubt we see a change for a year to anything in Harmonious, right? Like, it's
I bet Bruno comes in there quicker than you think.
They gotta test pyro. They gotta do it. It's a long process. World of Color doesn't have the pyro issue to tie in, so it makes the transition way quicker. I don't think you see anything till October.
They got to keep it fresh out there for everybody down at Disneyland because it's the same people going. But I mean, there's tons of people that go to Walt Disney World too that over and over and over again as well. So I don't know. I get both sides of it.
The Disney World annual pass holders just aren't as important. That's the difference.
Maybe they're not as vocal. Maybe you guys need to be more vocal.
I think they're plenty vocal.
Yeah, I've realized, especially lately.
There's not enough of them, really. It's the percentage of visitor. It's not high enough where the ratio is flip-flopped from Disneyland percentages to Disney World. I mean, they're not even selling them. That's how little they care. So if you have an AP, definitely renew it because who knows if it will ever come back.
Yes, that is true.
All right, Derek, you're asking the next one.
All right, my question that will be posted on social media. Yes, it will this week on all the things. You have to pick one of these. You're at Disney Springs. You have kids. They love these restaurants. You have to go to either T-Rex or Rainforest. Your life depends on it. Which one are you picking?
So I've only been to T-Rex before, so I'm just going to stick with T-Rex because I do at least like dinosaurs. I'm not sure about the Rainforest. Neither would be my pick, but
that's the great thing about this question.
You've got to pick something, right? So
Doug, what are you going to pick? That's the one I'm curious with.
I am going to stick with T-Rex because I feel like the dinosaur theming is better, and that's really all you're there for.
Yeah,
is the theming, because I do know now to check to make sure my food is fully thawed.
There you go. You've shared the story 1,000 times. I also am going. I know. I love T-Rex Cafe. I do. I have the mug to prove it. So I am going to go there because my kids love the dinosaurs and the asteroids and all the fun things. But there's got to be someone who chooses Rainforest, and we will find out if that's you this week. So be sure to follow along at Rope Drop Radio.
There's got to be plenty of Rainforest fans. I think because it's in so many more cities, it's just not quite as exciting to do that at Disney World. Now, T-Rex, is that the only location
Kansas City.
now? Is that still open, though? I thought
that's a good question. It did close during the pandemic.
Sure it
might. Okay, you're right.
I think it's done and gone. So we had done T-Rex multiple times in Kansas City before we ever did it at Disney World, where my food was frozen. Kansas City, they've managed to cook my food.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we should get on. But I love that question.
It's time
for the lightning round.
Congratulations, Steve. You have made it to the lightning round, where you will answer with your favorite Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, or Marvel, whatever you need to under the Disney umbrella, just to get an answer out. We do keep score, however, the points are made up and do not count. Are you ready?
Oh, let's bring it on.
All right. Favorite Disney movie?
Rogue One.
Oh, that's a very nice answer.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite Star Wars. Oh, I get in a huge argument with somebody that's like a bigger Star Wars fan than me by far, probably on your level, Derek. And he refused to admit that Rogue One was a Star Wars film. It's a Star Wars story.
Star Wars film.
It's a Star Wars story.
Correct.
Like that,
it is, so. But it's. But let's. It's
great. Yes.
It's not part of a trilogy, but really, it is.
It is a Star Wars film.
Right. That's all. That person's a little too concerned about semantics. All right. Favorite Disney character?
Pluto. Love the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Favorite Disney villain?
Dr. Facilier from a movie that I don't think gets enough love, but it's starting to get a little bit more now with Princess and the Frog.
Yes. It's good. All right. Favorite Disney song?
We Know the Way by Moana. Or anything sung in the have you guys ever been to Alani before?
Yeah, we have not. No.
In the elevator there, they have Hawaiian music going. You're sitting there listening to it, and all of a sudden you realize that it's all the Disney songs but sung in Hawaiian. So anything with that Hawaiian theme, I love.
That's what I'm doing in 2023, Doug.
After you run a half marathon.
Actually, it'd be way before. We have our trip in February.
Well, that's when the princess is, Derek.
Oh, I thought we were doing food or the wine, so that was later. Okay.
The wine.
I don't know.
All right.
We can do. There's a number of options.
Okay.
I'd rather do it early in the year to check it off. We can plan this another time.
We'll have to do
during
that.
a lightning round with Steve.
Yes, I agree. Back to the lightning round.
All right. Favorite Disney park?
California Adventure. Love the rides out there, the credit coasters, and also Guardian of the Galaxy's Mission Breakout. And I haven't been to Adventures Campus yet, but I've heard it's phenomenal.
All right. Favorite classic attraction? You define classic.
I'm gonna go with Haunted Mansion. Is that classic enough?
That checks the box.
All right.
More so than the current version of Figment, which we have once been told. Yeah, it's happened. All right. Favorite modern attraction? You define modern.
All right, this one might be not on too many people's radars, but Guardians of the Galaxy's Mission Breakout. Just because I'm telling you, people that are nervous about going on Tower of Terror and the up and down like that, when they get off that ride, everybody is just laughing and smiling. I have not had a ride like that where people are just in a good mood. That ride puts people in a good mood, so give it a shot.
My wife won't let me go on it.
I will let you go on it.
Well, that's because you'll just laugh at me if I'm sick.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. All right. Favorite Disney resort?
I'm going to go with Alani out in Hawaii. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a Disney resort and definitely looks fantastic.
Can't not wait.
All right. Favorite counter service restaurant?
So I'm going to go back to California Adventure and Flo's. It sits right next to Radiator Springs Racers. You get in there, get your breakfast, have that, and then jump on the ride, and hopefully you don't lose it, I guess. But it's a great place to sit out and watch the ride, especially in the morning. And they've got really good food there at Flo's.
They do, and it's very neatly themed. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. All right, favorite table service restaurant?
I'm gonna go with Sanaa over at Animal Kindgom Lodge. So love Sanaa and some of the different options that they have there. So I like spices. I like spicy food, and they have a little bit of that there.
Excellent. All right, favorite Disney snack?
Popcorn. No buckets.
Salty. I like it.
Yeah.
No buckets.
No buckets.
Just to clarify, you don't have a whole room full of buckets?
No buckets.
There you go. Get Rise of the Resistance for $15 or a bucket of popcorn.
Your choice.
Rise of the Resistance for sure for me. I enjoy the people that bring their buckets back and they'll bring them on the cruise line. I don't remember which cruise it was, but there was some lady that was just flabbergasted that they would not refill her bucket. And we're looking at it it's years old and from a park. The cruise line has different ones. It's what did you think? This is a business. At the end of the day, Disney is a business. They're not going to refill your popcorn bucket for eternity. It was funny. Okay, I laughed anyway. All right, favorite Disney drink?
I'm going to go with a Elysian IPA at Geyser Point.
Oh, good choice.
Sit out there, have a nice IPA, and watch the lake.
You are a man after my own heart on that.
There we go. And maybe the fireworks in the evening, too, with one as you finish out the night.
Nice. All right, Disney bucket list item.
All right, I got two, and they're kind of neck and neck. But I want to go on an EBD to Japan. I think Japan intrigues me as far as just a country, and I think using Adventures by Disney would be pretty magical to be able to see the story behind Japan and the sites. And I know that you've been there, Doug. I'm not sure if you've been, Derek, but Disneyland Paris. I've been over there. Love to go to Disneyland Paris sometime.
It is fascinating, and I think we'd really enjoy our second trip more than our first trip because you figured things out after so many days. But yeah, we did not do an Adventures by Disney to get the inside scoop. That's for sure. That would make it way more magical. Those are good ones. Yeah. All right, and that is
includes
the
lightning
round.
All right, we'll take a second right now and let our listeners know where they can find you.
Well, they can follow our show up over at the DCL Podcast. We're on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, not so much on Twitter as much anymore for some reason. But DCL Podcast on Twitter, wherever podcasts are found, you can find on the DCL Podcast. Over at Facebook, we've got a pretty good Facebook community, Patreon program, our community like you guys have, where we have a lot of fun talking and sharing stories and information. So if you're interested in that, come over to Facebook and join us there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll put some of that in the show notes. And that is all the time because we have to get to our own Patreon show, which we'll have Steve on to discuss more stuff. So if you want to hear that, click that in the show notes as well. And be sure to book a trip right now. Michelle is busy booking so many things because it is heating up. Literally, Doug, summer's around the corner. We got the good
Is
fall.
it though, Derek?
I don't know, man. We got snow
It
today out of
snowed.
nowhere. It makes me want to go even more. So
Oh my gosh, so
I
ready
need
to leave
yeah,
town.
I'm ready to get back to any Disney park or Adventure by Disney or a Disney cruise. Anyway, you want to do any of those things, book them with Michelle. Her email is in the show notes. She also bought Girl Scout cookies for Doug. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Doug, for supporting my daughter. She's getting close to her goal.
The kids have eaten a lot more than I have. I'm just going to say that.
If you need to restock up. Also, some of our listeners have messaged me and bought, so thank you. She does have a link, so if you want that link, let me know. And there you go. I'll do that on the show to get her some more sales. It works out perfect. But there you go. That is all the time that we have. So for Steve and Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.